the last match of the Saturday day. Oh, wow, I did horrible. Anyways, it's the last match of Saturday. It's going to be our final match on Free Online Translator versus Tarczynski Esports, the Polish team versus the European team of Lexus Peeps. It's going to be a battle between both of these high-seeded teams, C2 versus C4. My name is Exia XD. I am joined by Taikani. How are you doing today?
Exia, I am doing incredible. It's going to be a very, very interesting match, of course. Last week, we saw Tarczynski Esports go all the way to tiebreaker, much to a lot of people's surprise, my own included here. Just, you know, giving the Malachevsky effect. But the second they went to the tiebreaker extinction, they cleaned up. They did work. And I'm very, very excited to see this team obviously still in the tournament and ready to keep on kicking, of course, on the other side. Free Online Translator, as you said, kind of a European super squad. 3 Russian players, 1 Ukrainian, 1 British. A lot of the teams in Resurrection Cup are nationality based. It's just kind of a side effect of the rules. So it is fun to see, you know, these international teams still in this tournament that really encourages these kind of national teams. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting match. Of course, this finals pool is incredibly tough. You know, you're looking at 8-star no mod 1. I think says enough. There's so many really, really hard maps in this pool, and this is going to be a real test of like how many players on these teams can actually keep up with the difficulty.
I mean, yeah, we've seen it in these past 2 matches. The caliber of this map pool, as Taikani said, has been absolutely crazy. You've seen 8-star Nomad 1s have been absolutely like devastating towards the score. In our last match against that Dadini and the Us on a Train, that match, Nomad 1, has been like a 10k, 50k kind of score lead between both of the teams, which shows how close these maps can be. I mean, Nomad 1, it kind of just shows what the baseline of these maps are, especially on the tech maps, as on, like, for example, Hard Rock 3 and Hard Rock 2 and Nomad 4 are absolutely difficult. The Nomad 4 especially being that absolutely impossible tech map with the sliders, the little slider streams, cut streams, slider tech. This pool has it all, and on some of these custom songs made by yours truly from all of the wonderful artists that have been able to contribute to this amazing tournament. Graphics, mappers, whatsoever have been absolutely insane on the production.
Yeah. There is a little squabble about delay. It looks like we should be able to start the match without a 10-minute delay. Not completely sure. Let's see. Big screen transition. Oh, there we go. People in the lobby. You'll love to see it.
Well, Malachevsky already rolling 11. That's a great start for them.
Hey, 11 ain't 1. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
You may think it's 2 1s. It looks like 1, but it's not 1.
10% win rate of winning right now. Their other match is still going.
All right. Well, okay. It looks like a little delay. All right. It looks like you know what? We can sit here with Malachevsky having rolled 11. We can really set in like the odds that someone might roll higher than him or might roll lower than him. We can really think on it. I'm gonna play Donkey Kong.
Where's the stream for that?
You're not getting it.
No, we're not getting it. Okay. And he's gremlin laughing. Okay, I guess we're not getting that. We're gonna be here for a bit. 10-minute delay.
Yeah.
I think we probably just gonna click off stream. So a little bit 10-minute late. We'll be back in about 10 minutes if this match ever starts or the match continues. See you in a little bit.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, little bit of delays, no worries. We are finally here. Free Online Translator versus Tarczynski Esports. Finally, we talked about this a little bit before the delay. Of course, these are two incredible teams who have had some hardships for sure. Of course, we are in the losers bracket, but they have both made it here nonetheless into this losers side finals round 1 match. I'm excited, Exia. How are you feeling?
Yeah, this is a match that has high stakes. I mean, we're in the finals weekend. We are getting to the point where map pools are becoming absolutely difficult, where 8-star is going to be the average, significant or like shown by our Nomad 1 8-star map, which is definitely going to be the average for most of these maps. You can see our tech oriented maps have had a huge step up in difficulty. Hard Rock 2 being in a precision kind of tech map, you have these really flowy patterns. Hard Rock 3, the slider hell velocity map. Those are going to be some kind of the maps that are going to be huge in difficulty spikes, where, yeah, you're going to see some really low accuracy scores, but the combo are going to be pretty high. Possibly the score is going to be in the mid 500Ks to 400Ks for most of these maps. I expect to see some FCs on these speed maps, such as like DT2, DT3, Nomad 2, these kind of mechanics maps for these mechanics players. Considering, yeah, mechanics really strong suit for both of these teams, as both of these teams have really strong players for these mechanics maps. But in the overall gist of it, I think aim is going to be the coin flip for both of these teams. You can see the final boss for Tarczynski Esports, Malcheski, most colored, decorated player of the entire OSU community for tournaments, is going to be showing up in this matchup. Definitely going to be the strong suit for all of the skill sets. That doesn't mean that Free Online Translator doesn't have any 3 other players to contest with his prowess.
Yeah, we are going to see the first ban come through. Tarczynski Esports banning the Hidden 2. Of course, you're looking at kind of a hidden reading style map. Map I've played a lot. Also, a fairly significant aim component to that map. Not a map that you want to play without a ton of practice, without a ton of comfort. And Hard Rock 3 going to be the immediate responding ban for Free Online Translator. Chimera is probably the hardest map in the pool. The star rating is a solid 8.8. Although that is that's kind of caused by the way that slider velocity interacts with star rating. But yes, it is an incredibly hard map. And if you're not comfortable with the kind of slider tech element, yeah, you just get rid of it.
This map pool is difficult in its own way. You could already see the DT3 pick coming on from Malcheski for Tarczynski Esports. This map is going to be that speed pick. Definitely going to be one for the team right here. I think this is going to be pretty favored in their direction. You almost reach 300 BPM with this map, a whopping 8.48 star rating, 292.5 BPM. One of the shortest maps in the pool, standing below 2 minutes, 1 minute 55 seconds to be exact. With all the DT maps in the pool, 10.3 AR is going to be your AR for this pool, and an OD of 10.4, which makes ACK on this BPM a lot harder.
Yeah, 100%. This DT2... Oh, man. Sorry, DT3. I don't know why I said DT2. I can't read! Oh my god, I have my glasses on and I read the 3 is a 2. It's over for me! I'm cooked!
What the hell?
Anyways, this DT3, it's hard! It's real hard! Yeah, 292.5 APM, just 2 minutes long. That means it's going to be a pretty short way through. Every single break is going to matter a whole ton. So you've got to be on your game. This is a really scary map to start with.
Definitely gonna have, of course, speed players in for this map. I think this map is just going to be, if you can be able to combo. I think the accuracies are not going to be really high for any of these teams. I think you could look at the speed players that are going for like these high accuracy plays. 900 PP for FC. It's a speed map, so maybe like some pretty high AC for that PP play. Tarczynski esports on for this pick, which makes me believe that they have really good players for this. I mean, you have Nahus, you got Rafis, Milo, and Bobiak for this kind of map. On the side of Free Online Translator, not really familiar with all of their players. All the Lex's name changes are a little confusing to me, but yeah, DT3 straight into it. Milo and Rafis. Rafis, this is kind of the first time I'm thinking Rafis.
Milosh. You pronounce the S.
Oh, Milosh, yeah. Bars.
Yeah, early on, yeah, you see Rafi Pio, Rafis, and now Malashevsky and Alexis all finding breaks. Milosh, the only player actually holding on. That's the difference with the rank 5 player in the world right there on this speed map early on. There's so many breaks coming through. All of Free Online Translator is having trouble holding on. None of them have crossed 100k yet. Yes, Malashevsky's breaking, but Rafis is holding a pretty solid support score, and Milosh is just going crazy. This is his map.
The reason why they're picking DT3, I mean, DT3, you're depending on the top performing player for Milosh to be absolutely crazy on this map. And yeah, 97%. Absolutely crazy scoreline. Nobody in the 90% except for Rafis and himself. So this DT3 is already a huge win for Tarczynski esports with a lot of score difference and a lot of leeway in the first map already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really, really good start for Tarczynski esports. Of course, betting on the number 5 global player and it paying off beautifully. Milosh actually 1v3ing the opposing team, and by a pretty significant margin at that. Look at that, over 500k compared to the barely 400k of Free Online Translator. What a great start for Tarczynski esports. Really, really showing their proficiency on speed through, I mean, frankly, one player alone, but you look at those Malashevsky and Rafis supporting scores in contrast to Free Online Translator scores, and you see, like, yeah, this is, in this matchup, we're kind of looking at a speed team in Tarczynski esports at this point.
Well, huge performances from Milosh. That's a crazy S rank. This is probably one of the coolest plays I've seen so far in the finals weekend so far. The 2 matches that was played in winners bracket and in losers bracket have had some insane scores, but this one has been one of the better scores overall, possibly the highest PP score for the entire finals weekend. DT3 well slotted into Tarczynski's esports board with a 1 score to their name. It's going to be 1-0 lead as Free Online Translator losing 6-3 against Monkey Business in the winners bracket of semifinals. We'll be dropping down to Free Online Translator to the losers bracket, facing off against Tarczynski again for this.
Yeah, Free Online Translator, of course, for their first pick, you know, you're kind of looking into this hidden Sioux ban, and you're saying, okay, well, maybe we can justify something like a free mod 3. Like, Tetris is somewhat similar to the hidden Sioux in terms of design. It is somewhat aim-heavy, and of course has the low AR hidden. The kind of problem that you have picking free mod 3 is, of course, it is a free mod map, which means that at least one player has to play Hard Rock. You know, the opposing team can play 2 Hard Rocks if they so choose. So you kind of lose the effect of picking it. They are going to pick it anyways, kind of betting on the hidden 2 ban as their kind of advisory decision.
The flow, I mean, the burst flow of this map, the back and forth overlapping burst on this map for Hard Rock, are absolutely insane. Milk Tea, one of the higher performances in that match between Dadinus and Us on a Train, had one of the highest Hard Rock scores in the lobby. Not the highest score for the weekend, I believe that goes to Kriller for the winners bracket match. I'm not sure. Need to go check back on that, but these Hard Rock burst flow sections are absolutely difficult on that mod, and on the hidden the flow sections, as well as some of these easy combo sections. I would say like the easiest patterns are not hard, or excuse me, not easy at all. It's sort of free combo, but you need to be consistent on these kind of flow patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is really a map that really pushes your consistency in these kind of grid style maps. Like it's just, it doesn't look crazy, but it is really hard. I'm really interested what the mod combinations are going to be here. Of course, there's so much difficulty to both the hidden and the hard rock here. Of course, the hidden, it can be hard to keep up. There's a bunch of there's a lot of patterns that make it just a little bit hard to read. There's some new combo spam patterns throughout the map that remove the follow points, and you're actually going to see, because of that, both teams only have one hidden player, Synoxa for Free Online Translator and Malishevsky for tarczynski esports. Going to be a really kind of monumental shift from what we might expect from the result of this pick being from the hidden 2 ban, because like there's just as much precision as there is reading.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. Fremont 3 can already see a huge lead for accuracy on the side of tarczynski esports. Accuracy on Malishevsky being in the 98%, so no one contesting him at all on the accuracy. 12k score difference, but the combo's basically all the same. Milos with the break right there gives a little bit of advantage towards Free Online Translator, but the accuracy is keeping them well in the lead. It's going to continue to become smaller, that lead. It's going to get into this Free Online Translator side as the combo keeps growing, but it's going to be 2 of the same combos. That's going to be 2 same breaks at the same time. The aim is going to catch him off, as well as Raph finds another break. Malishevsky follows suit, but that's going to be 3 full breaks on Free Online Translator with Milos and Raph. Raph is finally finding a break, but it's going to be all Milos, and they're all breaking. The commentator curse strikes again as we arrive to the halfway point.
Yeah, interestingly though, we see kind of what this map has been. It hasn't been the story of any one player ever carrying the score. Rather, it's been the kind of the story of a slow build-up, right? You see the accuracy on tarczynski esports just overall better, and they've held those slightly longer combos, as we saw with players like Milos before the midsection, Malishevsky in the beginning. Really kind of keeping up this slow burn of this score lead. Like, you're just seeing, on average, more players on Free Online Translator are breaking consistently than players on tarczynski esports, and so that score difference is only going up still. Like, you know, we were looking at 12k earlier, it's 120k. It hasn't exactly been a fast route, but it looks like they're pretty comfortable. They don't really have one highlight combo that if it falls that they lose. They're really secure in this position.
Yeah, I mean, the combo is just absolutely strong. Breakpoint implemented into tarczynski esports. It's going to be a consolidation already, but with another opportunity to bring it up to a 3-0 lead. The sweep potential already showing itself with a hell of a score on Malishevsky and Milos. I think this is one of the highest scores in the Friday weekend, so unsurprised to see these players absolutely have a huge performance on this kind of map. And that just shows that flow on burst is absolutely difficult on these kind of overlapping patterns, which is why they're going to be picking possibly something a lot more flowy. I mean, you got something like Nomad 3, kind of a modern style. Alt map has a little bit of flow, has a little snappy aim to it. DT4 also has that kind of flow aspect with the aim control, and as well as some 10.3 AR to cater the fact that as pretty hard high AR reading map. I think that's some of the maps that they could go for, though.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot on the board for them, right? I don't really feel like for tarczynski esports they're a team that necessarily has like these picking limits. And I feel like in this matchup they can honestly be comfortable selecting a lot of different maps. Obviously after the DP3 win, they could go for more speed, but they're actually going to just hard pivot into the tech, bypass the dimension, a Resurrection Cup original song in our first of the pool. First of the match, I should say. A custom map by Foe and Chris Jasorka. If you saw the showcase, I mean, this map is kind of crazy. The Foe and Chris Jasorka, like, they are the only 2 mappers that could make this map. Just an absolutely insane tech map. Really strange is how I lovingly describe it. Because, man, this 180 BPM tech map, like, we're at 8 stars, 180 BPM, you need something to actually make this map a threat. just given its BPM, and this map absolutely is a threat. Some really, really tough slider aim. Patterns that just... It's hard to keep up with, and it's almost ulti in a way at 180 BPM.
Yeah, this is actually really difficult. I mean, Taikani has perfectly described how this map is. I'm especially looking at these cut stream, slider stream sections where that's mostly where the combo just kind of drops, especially on the Dadiness and the Ass on a Train mashup. That was possibly the closest scoreline we've seen so far. 20k, about 30k in scoreline for the win for Us on a Train, I believe. It really comes down to just who's able to hold the combo, because I feel like accuracy is just out of the game for these kind of map. If you can get the accuracy, that's like a little bit of leeway because of some score advantage with the accuracy. But this is all going to come down to combo, considering how difficult this 7.69 star rating map of No More 4 is.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're going to take a little catch-up time for a wrap. It's okay. And then we all make mistakes. We're going to be a little late. That's okay. And here we go. It's a slow start to the map, but very quickly it starts to pick up. And you can kind of see the qualities of the rather awkward patterning that Foe and Kastroka are known for, especially in those wiggle streams where we see actually only Milosh breaks, surprisingly enough. Everyone else holding on. But the accuracies on tarczynski esports are enough to keep the score close for now.
Crazy accuracy already from Malashevsky. Lexu is not far behind, as well as Scrowell, with a little bit of accuracy himself in a combo for him to cater to the fact that it's going to be a break from Malashevsky. Another one from Rafis. Advantage towards Free Online Translator. I did not expect it to be this kind of advantage early on. Free Online Translator, I thought tarczynski esports had a lot more better skills cap for this kind of map. But Lex is just gonna go crazy. I mean, the combo, I already talked about it. Accuracy can be a little bit of help, but if you're having a lot more combo, which is what Lex is kind of showing, it's absolutely putting some score difference in the grave. I mean, now gonna finally find the break. 30k in the lead for them, but now into the slider stream section, you're definitely gonna see a lot more of these, but a lot more consistent tech patterns with these kind of flow doubles.
Yeah, early on that Lexus score lead was doing a lot of work, and now it's game time. Really, the tech comes through here. This is going to be the big catch. Ratchi is going to go down, one of those first really big combo drops, but Rapis, Milosh both lose their combos. Now it's time to just Malashevsky versus Scroll of course, Lexu 4S. By the way, the Lexus is really quick. We'll recap. Lexu 2S is the Lexus. Lexu 3S is Welter, and Lexu 4S is Scroll. And Scroll is putting in work right now to keep that score lead. 30k is not that much. And when you're fighting against Malashevsky, it can be so tough to keep it. A break is so scary. Into the cut stream section, Malashevsky hits everything.
You cannot go against this guy in a tech map, and especially a tech map of this caliber. This guy will absolutely go crazy on it. That slider stream, one of the more difficult ones to hit. Hits the cut stream right after. Did he just break on the one slider? I think he just got cheesed by spam slider there. But that combo's well enough to bring him 16k in the lead. And continuing, everyone falls on the slider stream, but except for him, Malashevsky going crazy at a 97% accuracy and a 350-60 combo with the score as well. 200 combo as well. Not a lot of combo on the board right now. It's all equal. You need more breaks from tarczynski esports to make this more interesting. And Taikani, it might be another win for tarczynski esports.
It very well might be, especially with the full team break from Free Online Translator right at the end of that section with the slider stream once again. Milosh, the only person holding on to a significant combo, but that's all tarczynski esports really needs is someone to hold on to the combo, someone to hold on to the score lead in the final section of the map, and the Polish squad is going to get their third point, despite, a little bit of fear, right? Early on, we saw Lexus and we saw Scroll really pushing the kind of boundaries of the score lead. But in the end, of course, Malashevsky still prevails.
Tech is always going to be an uphill battle against this team of absolute wonderful tech players. 95% from Malosh, and as well as Scrowell with the 94%, 67% Great scores all around, but especially on Malashevsky, 97.26%. Absolutely insane accuracy, almost reaching that forbidden number.
But not quite.
Not quite.
Never. Yeah, Nomad 3 going to be the immediate pick from Free Online Translator. This is interesting because, of course, we were just talking about, should you remember, the Nomad 3 being a potential pick for Tarczynski Esports. This alt is, it's kind of going to be tossed up in the air, right? Because I think both teams have great aim control players. And so I feel like Free Online Translator have kind of decided, like, hey, we're not really going to have a comfortable pick. Tarczynski Esports, realistically, is going to have a roster for just about anything. So let's just pick maybe what we're most comfortable on and hope that we can, edge out a point, even if it's not like... I think you could, maybe find something that Tarczynski Esports really doesn't want to play. I'm sure you could find the hidden reading pick that nobody wants you to know about. But the question is, do you actually want to play the reading pick that nobody wants you to know about, or do you want to play a map that you're comfortable on? And I think that's kind of the way that Free Online Translator is going.
Yeah, this pick makes a lot of sense. Being strong in your own strong suit. Fremont 3 made sense in the fact that you maybe get lucky on those flow bursts. But unfortunately, you did get unlucky. A couple of more breaks made you give the win to Tarczynski Esports. Nomad 3, looking a lot less RNG. This is a map where modern style Nomad 3s we've had go into flow, then go into snap, really combining both good worlds. I think this is going to be really favored towards Tarczynski Esports again. I mean, they have just a roster for anything. As Taikani said, you're going into a map, you have to believe that they're going to put up worse for this, but as your own self, you need to also contest with all of the players on Tarczynski Esports. Is Free Online Translator ready to put it on the Nomad 3? Let's find out.
Yeah, looks like everybody is in. Had some banjo issues, but we got there. Here we go. This is gonna be a really, really interesting map, I think. It's hard to know which way the pendulum's gonna swing, because of course, again, like both these teams have great aim control players, and that's exactly what this alt map test. It is about as standard as a Nomad 3 can get. And really just gonna be a test of your alt consistency. Early breaks aren't gonna matter too much. What really is gonna matter is, as we get closer to the key eye, especially as right before the key eye, there's some jump scare patterns. That's really going to be kind of the key test of who can survive on this map.
Yeah, it's going to be all coming down to kind of these choke patterns. I mean, missing in the first key eye or dropping some combo in the first key eye won't be that damaging to the combos or score at all. And as we arrive to it closely enough, it will be that key eye. That's going to be pretty huge. You got to see the snaps. You can see the flow. It's going to be a break from Rafis first off. GPO did find a little bit of break early on, but it's not going to matter. It's Noxa. Going to be a huge break in the first section. Malashevsky follows suit. Rafis as well, but it's going to be 3 huge combos on the board on Scrowwell, GPO, and Malash.
All right, reaching the end of the first key eye here. The question is, can all of this full combo players survive on the final patterns? Yes, they can. Sorry, GPO is not a full combo player, but might as well be functionally a full combo, frankly. What matters is that GPO has combo. Free Online Translator, really, really good looking on the combo advantage. At this break, they can see it as well. They can say, okay, we're chilling. All right, Scroll. And just hope from then on that they can keep holding it. We are going into a slower section of the map. Combos should be safe for now, but that for now is very temperamental, right? Things can change very, very quickly as we're about to get into a harder section of the map.
This section is going to be the most important section right now. I mean, you have some win conditions on Milos and as well as on Scrowwell. GPO backing that up with a little bit of reverse choke from himself. Noxa not far behind with a supporting combo. Raf is going to drop down. Malashevsky is also going to find a drop as well. Milos needs to find more combo. And in these last kind of sections, needs to contest with 2 huge combos, especially the FC still on Scrowwell. and that's going to be disappearing soon enough. But Rapio it's still on the FC or reverse combo as soon to disappear. And as this map flips on its head, the table has been turned. And now as with a combo himself, brings the lead back to their side. Tarczynski Esports, another breakpoint potential in the books.
Yeah, there's something here, but Milosh crucially gonna find a break right at the finish line, right there. That was the point where he could have run the score difference over, but actually Malashevsky still with combo. Didn't even notice that as Milosh was causing a storm right here. Malashevsky putting it to 15k lead. That might be enough with the combo still in his hands with no combo on the opposing side at the bridge. But they can see that Malashevsky was all that it was. So both the supporting combos for Scroll are both gone now. And even though the score difference is crawling back, with those supporting combos gone, with Malashevsky still holding on, it should be enough to secure for tarczynski Esports right in the final hour. The Grim Reaper Malashevsky came knocking to finish Milosh's job. And it's a surprise breakpoint right at the end.
What a crazy ending. It all comes down to the powerhouse combo from Malashevsky and Milosh absolutely defying the odds of two huge combos that were arriving to that bridge choke section from Scrowell and RafGPO. But unfortunately, will be the loss again for Free Online Translator as they are looking down the barrel of the gun of an 0-4 deficit against one of the strongest teams in the tournament.
Yeah, this is a really, really tough position to come back from if you're Free Online Translator. Now, the nice thing for Free Online Translator is that they do have at least 2 picks left guaranteed after this banning phase, is because we're playing best of 13. Sorry, no they don't. I lied. Tarczynski Esports has the next 2 picks. Okay, so they need to win a pick in order to kind of start to get the last laugh a little bit. But I think it's absolutely doable. I mean, they have been competitive on every single pick. And it's just a question of, like, when's their time coming? When are they going to find the pick they can actually make it on? But right now, that's not important. What's important is the ban phase with No Mod 5, Sleep Well, I Love You My Dear, a Resurrection Cup original song, banned out by tarczynski Esports. Another one of those kind of really spooky gimmick maps, mapped by FonGen0019. tarczynski Esports, you know, they banned the Hidden Seal already. They're not going to want to deal with the No Mod 5. Absolutely makes sense. And now it's up to Free Online Translator. Like, what's the most crucial ban you have into this really multi-talented team?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the ban, No Mod 5. I think this is well in their suit. I don't think they just want to deal with these high velocity kind of like slider maps. So they already dealt with No Mod 4, especially Hidden 3 still on the board for that kind of tech-esque map. Still a really speedy map to be exact. DT1 ban for Free Online Translator, getting rid of that fast aim. And I think with that, you can show some weakness on these fast aim picks. Maybe No Mod 1 is something you go into if you're tarczynski Esports, considering that No Mod 1 pretty high in BPM. I think around 240 BPM to be exact for that No Mod 1 could be a possible pick. Hidden 1 and Hard Rock 1 have some really similar consistency. One of the more standard maps in the pool. Hidden 1 being just a little bit more awkward, of course, on the Hidden 1, and Hard Rock 1 just being the Hard Rock 1 consistency pick as well.
Yeah, I think aim-wise, just a lot to go for, but I don't think tarczynski Esports really needs to risk going for aim yet, and we're going to see that in their pick, Free Mod 4, very, very interesting pick, Lanthanide, a Resurrection Cup original song by Air Lemon X, of course, mapped by Jordan as well. Really, really interesting kind of tech map, right? It's kind of like No Mod 4. It's really non-standard in some of its patterning. And how Lanthanide works is that, you know, you're kind of switching between these grid sections and these non-grid sections, which is pretty normal for Jordan. That's just kind of how Jordan maps it. It's kind of awesome. But then you also have some really, really odd slider shapes that you don't see every day. They're way more focused on gray ticks than red ticks, which leads to just some really, really weird feeling shapes. There's a ton of slider ticks all over the place. And of course, this map is not immune to just throwing some cross grades at your face because it's funny. So it's really, really hard to keep a consistent combo on this free mod 4, especially as you have to play, either Hard Rock or Hidden. And it's a really, really tough decision. I have to imagine we're going to see 2 Hidden, 1 Hard Rock from both teams, just given that Hidden seems to be the comfortable pick for Tech a lot more, but, Hard Rock's always an option.
I mean, Hard Rock, it's the option. I mean, one needs to take it at least with the Hard Rock only. Whatever. It's just depending on the third player. That's probably going to be the most important mod for this kind of free mod 4. We've seen this map really techy in a way. Have some rhythm in as well. I've seen like Milk Tea from the last match at 16 UTC had a 95% play on the Hard Rock, which is absolutely insane. And especially on this kind of caliber of rhythmic kind of mapping, to be at 95% accuracy on Hard Rock is absolutely insane. But let's see if Milosh and Rafis, as well as Raf GPO, will be able to stand up and kind of contest that accuracy as well. But into a little bit of speed, into a little bit of aim into these sections, you're going to have a lot of slider tech, a lot of slider variables in this map, but that's going to be 2 full wipes on the side of Free Online Translator, as well as 2 full wipes as well on tarczynski esports.
Yeah, interestingly, we do see the double Hard Rock from the side of tarczynski esports, and early on holding a great lead, partly off the back of just Malashevsky. doing God's work, but Malashevsky crucially does lose the supporting combos early on here in what I would say is one of the easier sections of the map. It's going to be a little bit tough. If you can't keep that accuracy up, you could start to have some trouble as the Alexis's and Raf GPO start to threaten you a little bit. But they need more combo in order to do that, and this section is not known for letting you hold combo, as we see a full team break from Free Online Translator as Malashevsky holds on.
It's going to be the hold only for him. But now into a rhythm section, you have some polyrhythms to go apart on this. Some of the jumps have brought polyrhythms, the streams do. And it's just absolutely wonderful accuracy from Malashevsky. That's going to finally find a break, as there is no combo on the site right now to be able to contest with the score lead, 81k difference for tarczynski esports. There was a little bit of combo on Scrowell and Raf, but that's not enough to contest with some supporting combo from Milosh and Rafis as well.
Yeah, getting into one of the more rhythmic sections, kind of a weirder vibe to this one, and it's gonna be really, really crucial for Free Online Translator to not drop a single time in this breakcore section. We do see Lexus go down. That was one of the lower combos, maybe not one of the combos that they were the most concerned about. Really what they're aiming for here is just for one of these 2 comboing players to outlast Milosh and to outlast Malashevsky. Is if one of them breaks before one of those 2 key Polish players, it might be too hard to ever come back in this map, truthfully. I mean, we're looking at the final third of the map upcoming. There's not really time to build up a big combo again, so it really, really comes down to this final kind of grid-based section to see if those big highlight players can hold on, and so far everyone is on both teams.
Continuing the shred, there's still a lot of combo on board right now. Combo advantage towards the side of tarczynski esports. That's a full 5-man wipe across the board, but the only one standing on the harder mod is Malish, and he's just absolutely going crazy. These tech sections, these slider streams, what are you doing? And especially on the Hard Rock mod, that's an insane score, Milosh. An absolute score to be pondering upon. And as we arrive to the last half of the map, or the last sections of the map, Milosh absolutely puts an insane score on the Hard Rock, putting his team on the back for the last half to continue their absolute wonderful, sweet progression against Free Online Translator as they are up 5-0 in the match.
Yeah, incredible stuff from tarczynski esports, and especially from Milosh. We saw some breaks early on, but really, really coming through in the back half of the map. Of course, 1,041 combo to end the whole deal. 500k on this map with Hard Rock is no small feat. Milosh absolutely showing off, frankly. That last section was so insane. Of course, we saw the player break in the lobby. Milosh, the only player holding on and making it look kind of comfortable, honestly. It was kind of insane.
Insane combo holds. I mean, that map on Fremont 4 for Hard Rock is just so difficult. I mean, the accuracy requirement to be able to have that kind of high score is just crazy to see from Milosh. But that's going to be the Fremont 4 done for this matchup. And that's going to be one more pick left for Free Online Translator. If this were to be a sweep, they still need to find something. They still need to find something on the board. But unfortunately, you are down 2 players. It is going to be a little bit of a tough battle, a really uphill mountain battle to be able to find this first point. Nomad 3 didn't work. Fremont 3 didn't work. Can you go into something that you're most comfortable on? You can still look at the DTs as something, maybe DT4, possibly avoid DT2 due to how much you've been absolutely destroyed on that DT3. Fremont 2 and Fremont 1 still on the board, but as the choices become dimmer and as your score line becomes wider from an 0-5 lead for Tarczynski Esports, there's not a lot of picks on the board, but an Nomad 1 will be that selection.
Yeah, I actually really like this Nomad 1 pick. It can seem kind of silly that they banned an aim map only for their next pick to be an aim map. But actually, to explain this a little bit, a DT1 plays completely separately from Nomad 1. Nomad 1, at 250 BPM, though it may be, it actually honestly feels quite slow in comparison to the DT1. There is pretty much no rhythmic surprises. It's 1/2 rhythms all the way through, basically. 1 or 2 bursts, but it's not really, the bursts are not a big deal. And you're also looking at, DT1 is AR 10.5, 288 BPM is just such an absurdly high number that most players alt that if they're a single tapping player. And this Nomad 1 is quite different in that sense. I think there is kind of a comfort level in terms of the approach rate and in terms of the speed cap that Free Online Translator did not want to hit in DT1, but they are totally fine actually playing aim so long as they can read it, so long as they can tap it, and that's why they banned DT1 and then immediately went into Nomad 1. They're still comfortable in this Nomad 1, they just couldn't risk DT1.
I mean, risking the 10.5 AR map is surely a gamble if you're unable to consistently read on that AR. But an AR 10 map, really comfortable for any player, any top player at any rank will be able to read this kind of map. That'll be OD9, so note lock potential on kind of these stream sections or kind of these burst sections. But a 4.2 circle size makes this a little bit more harder to aim. An 8.07 star rating. It's 3 minutes in length, so you have loads of map to go. Still 2 first breaks for Free Online Translator. Raphis with an early break, but not going to be the damage that will make this map go all the way to Free Online Translator. It's a little free right now. Sanoxa finding another break. All FCs on Free Online Translator gone, and with that, Tarczynski Esports, 2 FCs on the board for Malashevsky and Milos are absolutely going to crush your score.
Yeah, the Malashevsky-Milosh combo here is so strong. Of course, one of the greatest tournament players to ever do it, alongside the current rank number 5 in the world. And, your top 10, you better be pretty damn good at aim, and you better be pretty damn good at playing 250 BPM. And guess what Milosh is? Looking at 99.5% accuracy, that speaks to the comfort more than anything else, honestly. Even if you're having Raphis break for Tarczynski Esports, you don't really mind. Raphis was never going to be your carry player on this. You're just really looking at Milosh to deliver the killing blows here, and working quite well as both players still holding the FC and Malashevsky and Milosh. Milosh does find a break, but with Malashevsky still holding the FC and without the super huge combo and free element to the contest, Tarczynski Esports still feels really fun.
Really only 1 break for Milos there, but you still have an FC on Malashevsky, and what can you do? Finally finds a break on the 1/3, but 300k score lead. That's a really huge score lead to overcome with 2 huge scores from Milos and Malashevsky. At this point is more than done. 300k and still climbing. I mean, there's still more combo to be had. There's still more map to be played, but as we arrived the last quarter of the maps, Noxa, more breaks from him, Milos as well. it's really one-sided, and Taikani, this is looking like an absolute demolition class from Tarczynski Esports.
Yeah, it's looking really spooky. You know, maybe Free Online Translator hoping that one player could save the day, but it feels like every single player just having real trouble on the spacing of this map. Of course, this is the 8-star, 250 BPM No Mod 1 Soraka Japanese aim mapper. It's so tough to keep combo on a map like this, and it's showing, especially against the dynamic duo that we're seeing between Malashevsky and Milosh, finishing the job for each other once again. 357,560 the score difference on this No Mod 1. All A ranks, but each A rank tells a completely different story as Tarczynski Esports finally finds themselves on match point.
You have to be so comfortable if you're a Tarczynski Esports fan. You're up 6-0 with their pick coming up next. And that's just a terrifying duo. Malish and Milos absolutely crushing that No Mod 1. But now into the next pick, an insta DT2 pick, showing what DT3 was an absolutely stomping. Translating into a DT2 pick makes so much sense here. And with that, possibly it will be the last map for Free Online Translator. It doesn't mean that they're completely out of the game. With this map still being at 222 BPM, still really doable for Free Online Translator. You just need to have that stamina.
Yeah, this is kind of the map. They've been saving this. They've been holding on to this, waiting for their day to come, waiting for the time that they can pick their pretty little DT map when the clock strikes 12, right? This is man, this is tough for Free Online Translator. We saw how the DT3 went, where they kind of just hedged it all on Milosh, and there was never even a question of if it would work, because Milosh showed the people, right? And you're looking at this DT2, this is more finger control than it is speed. However, I think because it's more finger control oriented, because it's maybe more accessible to somebody who isn't a speed player, that also means that you're not just looking at Milosh feeling incredibly comfortable, you're looking at Malashevsky and Rafis feeling ready to actually start tapping. And I think that's kind of the worst case scenario for Free Online Translator. Somehow you not only need to overcome what is going to be guaranteed a great score from Milosh, you also have to contest what is also going to be guaranteed better support from Milosh's teammates.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the win con for that team. The flow, it's showing. This is a map where, yeah, you can take it if you're Free Online Translator. You still need that stamina as well because of how often these bursts of flows come apart. But yeah, I think that's going to be combo advantage for Tarczynski Esports. Rapis with the only FC on board right now. A little bit of combo from Free Online Translator to contest with Malashevsky's and Milosh's combo. Rapis finding a break gives advantage to Free Online Translator, but there's a 4-way break across the entire board, and that's going to be all the breaks on Free Online Translator as their tournament lives are on the line, backs against the wall, and they're losing out this match by 88k right now.
Yeah, the old man's putting in some work for the Polish squad finally. Rapis' combo early on was so good for Tarczynski Esports, and now it feels like everybody's kind of in the same comfortable realm. Malashevsky especially with over 500 combo right now for this team going into the second TI. You're looking at basically everybody on Free Online Translator has the same combo. They all broke at the same time. They're all recovering quite nicely, but they need Malashevsky to break to actually do anything with that. And Malashevsky's just going to keep holding on. Lexus finds a break. It's only Scroll. It's only Rapchi Pio going on. Milosh kind of sees the writing on the wall, frankly. Sees what Malashevsky's doing. Regular Malashevsky things. Clocked in, locked in, ready to deliver the killing blow for Tarczynski Esports in the final quarter.
That's going to be definitely it. I mean, there's nothing contesting with Malashevsky's combo. You have the combined combos of Scrollwell and Rafchi EPO, but you cannot go against this guy at all. That's going to be a break from Scrollwell. Flex gonna fall apart, but Ravio as well. Free online translator, top 6 is gonna be their placement as Tarczynski Esports take this hella convincingly with a 7-0 sweep in the finals weekend. What an absolute amazing performance from both of these teams, but Tarczynski Esports longevity and absolute skill cap masters have been absolutely sweeping the house.
And you know what's crazy, Exia? Their last match went to tiebreaker. They went to tiebreaker, turned Malashevsky onto the 800k mode, and then forgot to turn him back off. He just kept going. Incredible stuff from Tarczynski Esports across the board. I mean, every single pick, it felt like Malashevsky and Milosh were screaming, "I am the best. I am the best to ever do it." You know what? I believe it. Because, man, this team, the loyalist team, Tarczynski Esports, really, really fought, really showed up in this finals match. And they're going to be moving on into the second round of losers side finals, I believe tomorrow.
I believe tomorrow will be the match. I think it's going to be at 14 UTC again, or 16 UTC.
Yeah, that does sound correct.
So it's at Sunday, 14 UTC. Dadunai versus Tarczynski Esports. That'll be commentated by yours truly, Dio and Blank Tap. That will be an amazing match to watch on Sunday. I think that's going to be it for this matchup and for the stream for the Saturday. Anything else to say, Ty Kinney?
Well, I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited. Of course, we have just such a great match upcoming. It will be our final match of the weekend, by the way, so make sure you can catch it. And then on Monday at 17 UTC, we should have the Grand Finals map pool showcase, which you absolutely don't want to miss. Anyone who's been paying attention to the custom song, preview videos has known we kind of have a lot left to reveal. So it's going to be a very, very exciting Grand Finals showcase. Can't wait to be there with you guys for it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to catch us at Sunday 14 UTC, Monday 17 UTC. We'll see you then.
See you guys.